Hello, this is Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and I'm here with a Taylor 614 CE guitar, which is part of the newly revamped 600 series. As you may have seen in some of the videos that we have on our website with Andy Powers talking about the revamping of the 600 series, Taylor has been putting a lot of emphasis on its maple guitars this year. And the reasons for that are several, really. Primarily, maple is a domestic wood, so they can build these guitars without dipping into tropical resources. There are no issues with endangered materials on this guitar, and they've managed to really get the most sound out of maple, which traditionally is thought of as a wood that's great for archtops and violins and certain instruments, but it hasn't really been the wood of choice for most flat top makers. Taylor sources the maple that's used on the 600 series guitars from its supplier in the Pacific Northwest, same supplier that they get their spruce tops from, in this case a Sitka spruce top on this guitar. The guitar has ebony fingerboard and bridge, which comes from Taylor's own ebony farms in Cameroon, Africa, so also a very controlled environment. And the neck of the guitar is also made out of maple. So really we're talking about maple, spruce, and ebony, all of which can be sourced in a very environmentally friendly manner. Let's take a look at the woods. The back and sides of the guitar, very flamed. You can tell that Taylor uses a brown stain on the maple that's used for the back and sides of the guitar. Traditionally, Taylor's 600 series has used a much lighter stain that showed the lighter color of the maple a lot more. But for this series, they chose to give it kind of a brown tint. Very beautiful, I think. When I first played the guitar, I didn't even realize that the neck was maple as well. Because of the stain, I thought it was a mahogany neck, as it is on most Taylors. But it is indeed maple. It has the same great Taylor shape that all of Taylor's NT necks have. I really like this little inlay design at the top of the headstock right here. Below the tuners, there's also a back strip on the headstock. And of course, Taylor uses its own chrome enclosed tuning machines on the guitar. The appointments on the 614 CE, which are the same as on the entire 600 series, are kept fairly simple. There's an abalone rosette, very cool two-layer ivoroid purfling around the perimeter of the top of the guitar with black binding around it. The fingerboard is unbound. It's got the traditional 600 series inlay in the fingerboard. And of course, the guitar is equipped with the ES2 electronic system, which is the latest expression system that uses piezo sensors behind the saddle and volume and tone controls in the upper bout. So in redesigning the 600 series, Taylor's Andy Powers really tweaked every aspect of the guitar, similar to what he's done with the 800 series about a year ago, to really create more complexity, a bigger sound, just an all-around more rounded voice. In the case of the maple guitar, that was an even bigger challenge because maple typically isn't thought of as being a very versatile kind of a voice in a flat-top acoustic guitar. But I think, as you've heard when I played the guitar earlier already, it's a very warm, natural-sounding guitar that doesn't make you think of the sort of bright, dry aspect that maple often has. One of the things that he's done with this guitar is slanted back braces, which he also did with the 800 series. That creates a little bit more balance in the back response to the guitar. And he really did consider every aspect of the guitar, from the bracing on the top, the back, the thickness of the materials. They're even using hide glue for certain aspects of putting these guitars together. So a lot of different things happening that all result in a superior instrument. Let me play it a little bit more. I'm now tuned to DAT-GAT tuning, so you can kind of hear the frequency response with a low D note in there. also listen to Peghead Nation's Scott Nygaard playing the guitar with a flat pick to really hear what it sounds like when it's strummed or played with single note lines.
Hey, Scott Nygaard here for Peghead Nation with this new Taylor 614 CE maple-bodied guitar. You know, I heard Taylor's Andy Powers play this a few weeks ago, play another version of this a few weeks ago, and was pretty blown away by the tone he was getting out of it. And so I was pretty interested to see what would happen when we got one in our hands and see what I could get out of it. And I've had it in my hands for all of 2 or 3 minutes now, and I must say I think I'm going to have a tough time putting this one down. So let me just play a little bit for you here.
Beautiful playing by Scott there. Let's also have a listen to the guitar's electronics. As I already mentioned, the 614 CE includes Taylor's new ES2 system, which is different from the original Expression system in that rather than using magnetic sensors under the fingerboard and inside the top, it uses piezo crystals that are mounted behind the guitar saddle. And that's really the big difference. Where most piezo pickups rest under the saddle, these pick up the saddle from behind. There's basically a sensor between each string pair, and it results in a much more natural attack than a lot of under-saddle pickups. And it's paired with a preamp, the controls of which are here in the upper bout. It's got a volume control, bass and treble control, and there's 1/4-inch output and a battery compartment in the back of the guitar right here. Let's have a listen. I'm plugged straight into a AER Compact 60 amplifier here, going straight in with a 1/4-inch cable, and I'm running pretty flat here on the guitar, also flat on the amp. Let me play a little bit for you. So even though I'm playing with a very heavy pick here, I'm still getting a fairly natural attack, which is something that not all pickups can do. If I was playing fingerstyle, I would be getting an even more natural attack. So very versatile system, easy to use. I could probably tweak it a little bit more if I ran it through a preamp with EQ or anything like that, but I could see myself just plugging straight in on stage, going straight into direct box or my amp, and just using the sound that the ES2 offers just by itself. So that's Taylor's new 614 CE. It's a really wonderful guitar, very versatile, beautiful to look at, plays very easy like all Taylors. I didn't talk much about it, but it's pretty much a given with a Taylor guitar that the action is going to be very playable, very nice, slightly rounded neck in the back. And you should check them out. There are new 600 series guitars in all of Taylor's body shapes, from a grand concert through this grand auditorium, grand symphony, grand orchestra, and a dreadnought. And they all share the same looks and designs and a revoiced sound that is different from the 600 series guitars that have been in Taylor's lineup for many years. So check them out. For Peghead Nation, I'm Teja Gerken.